What supplement should I take? Exactly, today we're going to talk about supplements, but before we dive into it, it's very important to note that supplements do not, I repeat, do not replace food. So in order to benefit from supplements, you also need a healthy diet and a healthy lifestyle. Supplement is adding something to complete or to enhance. Keep that in mind. Supplements don't really have to be just whey protein powders or creatine powders. They can also be multivitamins, omega-3s, etc. So for this video, I will mention a supplement and I will explain what it does to our body. And by the way, guys, you can get a 10% discount on your purchases on Zoom by using my code Almeida. If you're not familiar with Zoom, don't worry, they are a sports nutrition brand just like Foodspring, Prozis, My Protein, etc. And I know when someone recommends something on the internet, you're always asking, is it legit? But don't worry, they are partners of big organizations and teams and athletes around the world. Zoom is partnered with some bodybuilding organizations, but then they also have with football teams, like for example, you have PSG, Atletico Madrid, Benfica, the team I support, and you have Port Sporting, Monaco, and even Bayern München, the basketball team. And as you know, they have loads of partnerships. Sometimes you can even see Zoom advertising on the pitch side of the advertising boards. If you're interested in what they have to offer, I will leave the link and my code in the description. So to start off with the supplements, I'm going to use whey protein powders as first. And as you know, protein is a macronutrient alongside with carbohydrates and fat. So it's an energy source that your body uses, plus it will help you build muscle mass, but it also has other functions. Proteins are chains of amino acids, and there are 20 important amino acids, which 9 are essential. Your body does not produce those 9 amino acids, which means you have to get them from food. So that's a mini explanation of what proteins are. Now back to the supplements, especially whey protein powders. There are different types of whey protein powders, and one that you might be familiar with is the whey protein concentrate. Whey concentrate is a fast digesting protein, so your body breaks it down and absorbs it quickly. And a lot of people tend to choose the whey concentrate because of budget. It tends to be cheaper than other, for example, this one is Isolate, but it tends to be cheaper than other whey protein powders. The difference between other whey protein powders, for example, the concentrate with the Isolate, is the way they are processed. Whey concentrate contains 70 up to 80% of protein, while the rest 30 to 20% are carbohydrates or fats. It contains more lactose, so it's not ideal for people with lactose intolerance. Better options for lactose intolerance are Whey Isolate, Hydrolyzed whey, and vegan proteins. Next protein option is the one that I use, and it's the Whey Isolate. So Whey Isolate contains up to 90% of protein, so it has less carbs and less fats. So it's also a great option if people want to build muscle mass but don't want to get fat. And like I said, it has less lactose, so it's a great option for people with lactose intolerance. I recommend Whey Isolate more, but you always need to check if it matches with your goals. Not that you think that whey concentrate is bad, but it just has different goals. For example, for bulking, the whey concentrate is better than Isolate. Nothing about Whey Isolate, it's easier to digest, so your body will absorb it faster than with the whey concentrate. So it's a great option for athletes who do high intensity workouts. So this is the second flavor that I tried from Zoom. The first one was banana flavor, and this one is chocolate flavor. I did like the banana flavor, but this chocolate flavor, I feel like it gets cloying, but everyone has different tastes. Another flavor that I tried from Zoom, they offered me just to try it, the whey concentrate, and it was from vanilla flavor, very tasteful. I did like that a lot because it also reminded me of some yogurts that I ate as a child, so I might go with that one the next time. Next we have Whey Hydrolyzed. Whey Hydrolyzed is the fastest to absorb because of hydrolysis, which is basically a pre-digestive process. It breaks down long chains of amino acids into smaller pieces of amino acids, which are called peptides. So it's a great option for athletes that need proteins fast for the muscles. I never consumed hydrolyzed whey protein powders, so I don't really know how it feels like. Vegan protein, perfect for vegans and lactose intolerance. Vegan protein powders are made from plant sources like peas, rice, soy, etc. Fun fact, it's not called whey vegan protein powders because whey comes from cow milk, and that's why the only correct term to call it's vegan protein powders. People can choose vegan proteins not because they are vegans, but it's more eco-friendly, and it's more sustainable, but it's also gentler to your body as it avoids bloating, gases and cramps in your stomach. Then it's fiber rich that will make you feel full, but fibers also have a great function in our body, which is cleaning our digestive system, because we don't digest fibers, so they take waste in the digestive system with them. But fibers also have different functions, but this is one of them. There are also different type of vegan protein powders, like for example, the normal one is the vegan protein blend, and that one can reach up to 70 up to 80% of protein. And then you have the Isolate vegan protein powder, which reaches up to 90% of protein. So you can see that vegan protein powders can match up with whey protein powders and also help you build muscle mass. And I didn't even know that Isolate whey protein powders exist. They make everything nowadays. Next one, casein protein powder. Casein protein is basically milk, in other words. It makes about 80% of protein content in the cow's milk, while the other 20% are whey. Every mammal milk contains casein. It's the primary protein found in milk. Now you might be wondering, why is it good to take casein protein powders? Well, it's a slow digestive way to take protein and probably the slowest to digest. It's famous for preventing muscle breakdown, especially during long periods without food, while whey protein powders is better for building muscle mass. Also, casein is famous for overnight recoveries. Taking it before bedtime, your muscles will have enough nutrients while you are sleeping. As it's slow digestive, because it forms like a gel consistency, it travels through your digestive system, and this process will make you feel full for longer. So this could be a great option if you're trying to lose fat, so if you're in cut mode. Now, next supplement, we have BCAAs. BCAA stands for branched chain amino acids, and it's a group of 3 essential amino acids which your body cannot produce. You have to get them from food, or in this case, you can get them from supplements. An interesting fact about BCAAs, unlike other amino acids, they are metabolized directly in the muscle rather than in the liver. The 3 amino acids are called leucine, isoleucine and valine, and each of them has different functions. Leucine is the primary trigger for muscle protein synthesis. It basically tells your body to start building muscle. Isoleucine supports energy regulations and muscle repair, and valine helps preventing muscle breakthrough and supports mental focus by reducing fatigue. BCAA could be a great option for people that train for long periods of time, because they will not fatigue that quickly. But in my opinion, I will stick with the whey protein powders, because they not only help you build muscle mass and strength, but the reason also behind it is those 3 amino acids of the BCAAs are in the whey protein powders, alongside with the other amino acids that will trigger muscle synthesis and muscle repair. The next time you buy a whey protein powder, you can actually read them on the nutritional information. But why taking BCAAs over whey protein powder if whey is much better? It's used strategically. So if you're in a strict diet, for example, and you cannot surpass your calorie intake, the BCAAs are calorie free, while with whey protein powders, as it contains fats and carbohydrates, you might surpass that caloric intake. Another example is if you take BCAAs before a workout, so pre-workout, and you didn't eat anything in cardio sessions, it will make sure that your muscles don't break down to energy use. And as the last example, it's great for reducing muscle soreness. So now what a lot of you were waiting for, creatine. There are lots of creatine powders on the market, but 3 have been proven, which is the monohydrate, then hydrochloride and buffered creatine. Creatine monohydrate is the king of the creatine powders, as it's been proven, but you can feel bloated or feel cramps with monohydrate, so the other options are also great. 90% of the people will choose creatine monohydrate, but at the end of the day, all 3 will help you perform better at the gym. What a lot of people don't know is that our body produces creatine. It's about 1 gram that it produces, and the daily dose that you should take is 3 grams up to 5 grams. And the scoop that is inside, for example here on the Zoom, is 3 grams, and that's the the recommendation that I would also give. If you take too much creatine, your body won't store that creatine, so it will flush the excess through the urine. So you will just be wasting money, so don't do it. Another great benefit from creatine, it's a great supplement for your brain and not only for the gym. Study shows that it can improve muscle memory and cognitive functions, and it can reduce mental fatigue. I know that some of you will just pick one, just creatine or Whey Isolate, but luckily enough you can mix both together in one shake and you can get benefits from both. They have different functions, like you have to see it. Creatine is like the fuel for your cells. It helps with the ATP energy production and not just building muscle mass, while whey is amino acids and they will build the muscle. Imagine it like a construction work. For example, the house that you're building is your body, then the creatine is the construction worker, and the whey, the amino acids, is the brick that the construction worker uses. So if you just take creatine, you will have the construction worker, but if you don't have enough protein, so the bricks, the construction worker won't have the bricks to build the house. So the muscle, basically. That's a great way to explain what the creatine does to your body and what protein does to your body. And another thing about creatine is that you need to take it consistently. You don't just take it once and expect miracles. That's very important to note. Next supplement on the list, we have pre-workouts. Quick explanation, it's like an energy drink or a supercharged coffee. It's direct energy and adrenaline that boosts your focus and stamina during your training sessions. It gives you that peak performance, but remember, once it wears off, your energy levels will return to normal. Pre-workouts are great for those days that you're feeling tired and you need that extra push. They also increase your heart rate, so don't take a lot of them and don't drink coffee with it because it's too much energy. The pre-workouts just allow you to train at 100%. The most famous pre-workout is coffee that I already mentioned, but then you have the beta-alanine, which is an amino acid but not an essential one. So you don't have to take this amino acid, and this amino acid also gives you that tingling feeling on your skin. L-citrulline is for the pump and reduce fatigue. And guys, make sure that you don't take pre-workouts before going to bed because otherwise it's going to be a long night. Mass gainer. Do you have difficulties in gaining muscle mass? Well, then the mass gainer is perfect for you because it not only contains protein, but it also contains a lot of carbs to have that caloric surplus. This is the right supplement for the hard gainers. And the last supplement that I will talk about in this video is the supplement called Glutamine. Glutamine is an amino acid that helps you with muscle recovery. That is one function, but it also has different functions like supporting your immune system, and the other important function is your gut health. Yes, taking glutamine will help the digestive system absorb the food better and also supplements better. I would say this supplement is great for those that have a sensitive digestive system, and it's also very famous to take glutamine together with creatine. Alright guys, I mentioned a lot of supplements, but I'm not done here because there are other supplements that I also want to talk about, but as it's a long video with lots of information, I decided to break it down into two parts. In this video, I talk more about the supplements that will help you with performance, with gaining muscle mass and strength, while the second part will cover the supplements that are more for health and well-being, like multivitamins, minerals, collagen, etc. So stay tuned for that video, and I really hope that you found this video helpful and informative. If it was, make sure to like, subscribe, but don't forget to click on the notification bell so that you won't miss any new coming videos, and I see you in the second part. Thank you and see ya.